Welcome everybody to the Tulloch Clan channel. How are we doing? Right now I just wanted to pay tribute really to a man who has just passed away, Sir Peter Snell. Okay, Sir Peter Snell is a legend of New Zealand sport, and I think because a lot of the deeds and the things that he did over his life and his achievements happened in the 1960s, many of the things have been forgotten. So people forget that he won the Olympics out of nowhere in Rome, and then went back and did it in Tokyo. Okay, it might be the other way around. Let me double check that. But the fact remains, Sir Peter Snell was such a humble dude. He typified what New Zealanders are, through his behaviour, through his actions, and just through his sheer guts and determination. And you know, probably it would be a good time to just give another shout out to another guy whose name is Arthur Lydiard, who put all the training into Peter Snell, and a band of other guys, and he proved his system, and he was the founding father of periodization training, which is now, you know, the standard. All athletes periodize their training, so he was the first guy to really nail this as a concept. So yeah, it's not really that often when people pass that I get too excited. Well, I wouldn't say excited, but too emotional. But I was particularly emotional about Peter Snell, because he's such an awesome guy. So he competed in 2 Olympics, and then he retired from the limelight. And then the cool thing about this guy is he retired from the limelight, and at the age of 34 he moved to the United States and he started an academic career. He ended up becoming a PhD and working in, you know, sports science in particular, and he was really well regarded in that field, which was interesting because he was the guy that didn't do that well at high school, so that's also quite an inspirational thing. Yeah, so I just want to pay tribute to Peter Snell, and let's dig in and let's have a look at a little bit of the stuff that's floating around about him at the moment. Okay, this is from Radio New Zealand. Sir Peter Snell dies. Okay, the death of Sir Peter Snell has prompted an outpouring of tributes and farewells. Okay, he won gold in the 800 in the Rome Olympics in 1960, setting a new international record, and then the 800 and 1500. You know, this was huge for New Zealand. New Zealand, a tiny, dinky little country in the middle of, in the back arse of nowhere that really just had no success. Okay, as mentioned, Barry McGee with him in the stable of legendary coach Arthur Lydiard. So Arthur Lydiard took a whole bunch of guys who lived in the same suburb, this little suburb within Auckland, and turned them all into international athletes. So you know that it was a system that he created. Right. Part of me wants to cry. The other part celebrates the life of this great New Zealander. There wouldn't be another sportsman in New Zealand that would not envy the record that Sir Peter Snell has created and what he has done. He said Sir Peter was to athletics what Sir Edmund Hillary was to mountaineering. In a statement, New Zealand Olympic Committee President Michael Stanley said Sir Peter was responsible for some of the finest moments in New Zealand sport. Okay, let's watch this little tribute.
So it's basically a swallow dive, and I'll let you win into the paper that sort of flick. Tokyo
Tokyo 1964, the honour of carrying the New Zealand flag into the stadium was given to Peter Snell. He'd established himself as an international track star. Following his gold medal, he'd broken the world records for 800 metres, the half mile and the mile.
In Tokyo, I'm expecting to win. The expectation of myself is that I should win. I'm the world record holder. I deserve to. No one else has approached the times that I have. It's just a question of, do I still have it? And I wasn't absolutely sure. And you're never sure when you come out of season to perform like this.
For the 800 metres, Snell may be favourite, but he's still...
Okay, absolutely amazing performance. So the thing about Peter Snell is he was the first guy that was doing 100-mile running a week for an 800 and 1500 meter race. So figure that out in your head. 100-mile, 160 kilometers. So Arthur Lydiard figured out that if you built a base big enough doing this 100-mile a week, that you could sustain your maximum pace or your best pace for the longest possible time. So, and that's essentially what he did. Built up the biggest possible engine. And Peter Snell was, I guess, the guinea pig of all of that training and the combination. But Arthur Lydiard trained himself. Even at 40, he was a national marathon champion. So he trained himself, and then Snell was the first guy who just came in and beasted the system. He beasted himself through the system and ended up beasting the whole world in the 800 and 1500. Look at this guy, he's an absolute legend. Reading the stories that came from his wife. Okay, that was really interesting, talking about they met, they married, and then how he was just so awesome to travel with, because he was never grumpy or never got upset or anything like that about anything. So he was just a really relaxed, cool, calm kind of guy. Massive tribute to Peter Snell. I actually used his methodology and his training and a lot of the training I did when I was in the army and building up endurance. So I've always had this special place about Peter Snell. I read, some of the books, the Arthur Lydiard books, and it's just legendary stuff. Okay, these guys from the back arse of New Zealand with no sophisticated training came up with a method to beat everybody in the world. Okay, and that's incredible. So Peter Snell, you're a legend, you're a humble guy, loved by everybody, and this is a tribute to your life. Awesome, mate. You had a good one, great innings, great knock, rest in peace. And New Zealand loves you, and I hope that all your family are just enjoying the moments right now. At least you had a bloody good knock and you put in a solid knock. 81 years old or 80 years old is a great effort. Fantastic. Well done, Sir Peter.